Let's talk about two things today: variables and data types. Alright, let's start with variables. The official definition of variables is they are sections of memory. Now, I don't really find that very useful, so let us define it this way to get a better understanding. Variables are units or entities that store information. So they are things that hold information. In this case, x, y, and z are variables. You may be wondering, what is this int? This just means that x is of the data type int, which represents integer. So essentially, x can only hold integers. If you recall your math class, integers are numbers that does not have decimal points. So x cannot hold 10.2, for example. It can only hold 10 or 11 or 12. Same goes for y and z. And this is an example of how we use variables. So in this case, I let z be the sum of x plus y. When we write it this way, the original z value is gone. It's no more 5. Z is now 17. 10 plus 7. There are 3 terms associated with variables. One is declaration, one is assignment, and the last one is the combination of the first two, initialization. Let's call it declaration and assignment. Before we can first use a variable, we have to create it, and that is declaration. To do that, put the data type in front of the variable you want, and that's all. End with a semicolon. Assignment just means that we are giving a value to our variable. So in this case, hello equals to 10. We assign the value 10 to hello. And the last one, which you just saw here, is initialization. It is essentially writing these two parts in one line. Again, don't try to memorize terms like declaration, assignment, and initialization. Just try to understand it. If you forget it later on, don't worry about it. You may want to revise it. Eventually you'll get it. But most importantly, we are trying to understand what's happening here. Alright, let's talk about these blue words right now. Your int and this double. Variables can be of different data types. There are quite a bit of data types, but here are our main 6. The first one, integer, written as int. In MQL5, integer essentially means a number between about negative 2 billion to 2 billion. And it cannot have a decimal. Boolean means it can only hold 2 values, true or false. String. String is a text. They are words. Double represents a number between negative 1.79 times 10 to the power of 308, which is a very, very small number, to 1.79 times 10 to the power of 308, which is a very, very big number. To keep it simple, think of double as a number that can hold decimal points. Color represents a color. And date time. This format stores date and time. We will talk more about date time in detail in one of the later lectures. So here are some examples of the different data types. The variable apple of data type integer gets assigned a value of 10, boolean, orange, false, a string. Have a nice day. Remember to use double quotes. Double color. So there are a list of colors available in MQL5. I will show you the list in a later chapter. So you can't just create a random color in your mind and expect that color to appear. And lastly, date time. So the variable mango contains a value that is of a date time format. It holds information to a date and a time. So this represents the year 2011, November 28, 5:23 a.m. 53 seconds.